Lagi na lang may stars. Assalamualaikum. Good morning. And welcome to my training. By the way, this training is in preparation for the StoryRise nation building Caravan. Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Yet, it's not just about having access to education, but ensuring the quality of that education. A well-rounded, high-quality education equips individuals with the critical thinking skills, creativity, and emotional intelligence necessary to navigate and contribute to the world effectively. The quality of education determines the quality of the future. This quote encapsulates a simple but profound truth. When students are exposed to a well-structured, nurturing, challenging, and nurturing learning environment, they not only excel academically, but also develop into responsible citizens. Quality education fosters an inquisitive mindset, cultivates resilience, and encourages students to apply their knowledge practically in a rapidly changing world. Today, quality education is more than textbooks and tests. It's about promoting collaboration, especially with AI, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. It incorporates diversity, inclusivity, and real-world problem solving. Countries that invest in upgrading their educational systems see a direct link between improved education and economic growth, social equity, and innovation. However, there are still places where the standard of education is alarmingly low. Lack of resources, untrained teachers, and outdated curricula hinder the development of students. This poses a significant barrier to progress, both for individuals and communities. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which one can use to change the world. Yet, to truly harness this power, the emphasis must be on the quality of education provided, not merely its availability. Every child, regardless of their background, deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential through a solid educational foundation. Only when we ensure, only when we ensure, only when we ensure that education is of high quality, can we confidently claim that we are preparing our future leaders to shape a more just, innovative, and sustainable world. Let me talk about money. Lao Tzu One said, and I quote, "Give man a fish, and you feed him for a day. But teach man how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." Each of us has a deep, driving desire we wish to gratify and accomplish, to bring our ambitions and desires to fulfillment. We must possess one important factor and must be successful with it: money. Money is symbolical of life's energy and sustenance. As a medium of exchange, we earn and we utilize it. Money earned is the result of the product, value, and services we render for other people's convenience. It is necessary for us to secure money, for it supports life. Success in life is the progressive realization of one's worthy goals and the fulfillment of his or her own dharma, the highest purpose of living in the service of others. The prosperity of a nation depends on the individual citizens' financial well-being. Wealthy citizens establish a wealthy nation. Financial literacy and wealth consciousness are the keys to prosperity. The story of the peacock and the sparrow. This is a children's story. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a magnificent mountain, lived a peacock named Percy. Percy was a majestic bird with vibrant feathers that shimmered in various shades of blue and green. He was known for his graceful dances and melodious calls, which captivated the entire village. Percy took great pride in his appearance, in his beauty and talent. He would strut around the village, showcasing his beautiful feathers, and expect admiration from everyone. His ego grew with every compliment he received, and he believed himself to be the most important creature in the entire village. One day, a young sparrow named Sammy arrived in the village. Sammy was tiny compared to Percy, with simple brown feathers that blended with the earthy surroundings. While Sammy was impressed by Percy's beauty, he was not enamored by his sense of self-importance. Sammy believed that true worth is measured not by external appearances, but by actions and kindness. Curious to test Percy, curious to test Percy's character, Sammy approached him with a humble, simple request. "Oh, great Percy, I have heard of your remarkable dancing skills. Would you teach me a few steps? Percy was taken aback. How dare this small sparrow approach him, the grandest of all birds, with such a request? He scoffed at Sammy and replied, "Why would I waste my time teaching a plain and insignificant bird like you? My talents are far too extraordinary for someone like you to grasp." Sammy was not discouraged by Percy's arrogance. He knew that appearances could be deceiving and that true value lay within. Determined to teach Percy a lesson about the importance of humility, he devised a plan. The following day, a great celebration was held in the village square, where all the creatures gathered to showcase their talents. Percy, as always, was the center of attention, performing his dazzling dances and basking in the admiration of the onlookers. When Percy finished his performance, Sammy took his chance. He swooped down from a nearby tree and began to sing a simple and sweet melody. The villagers were entranced by Sammy's heartfelt song, and a hush fell over the square. The beauty of his voice resonated with their souls, far surpassing the external spectacle of Percy's dance. Realizing that he had been outshone, Percy's feathers deflated with embarrassment. He believed his beauty and talents were enough to make him important. But now he realized the true value of genuine humility and the impact one could have on others through simple acts of kindness. Approaching Sammy with a newfound respect, Percy apologized for his arrogance and asked humbly, "Oh dear Sammy, could you teach me to sing like you? I realize now that true importance lies not in external appearances, but in the way we touch the hearts of others." Sammy smiled warmly and agreed to help Percy. Over time, the peacock and the sparrow became good friends, teaching each other with their respective skills. Percy learned to appreciate the beauty. Percy learned to appreciate the value of simplicity, while Sammy learned to appreciate the value of beauty that can exist both within and outside. Percy learned to appreciate the value of simplicity and humility, while, while Sammy learned to appreciate the beauty that can exist both within and outside. From that day forward, Percy no longer believed in the false sense of self-importance based solely on his appearance. He embraced his unique qualities, but he also believed in the importance of kindness, compassion, and appreciating the gifts of others. The villagers, now enlightened by the story of Percy and Sammy, learned that true worth or true value, true importance comes from within, and that every creature, no matter how big or small, has something valuable to offer. And so they lived in harmony, respecting and cherishing the sense of self-importance that resided within each of them. Tingin mo na ako dito sa listahan ko. Life is a choice. Two eggs were telling each other what they wanted to be when they hatch. The first egg said, "I want to be an oyster when I hatch." An oyster just stays in the water and never has to make any decisions. The currents of the ocean just move it about, and it doesn't have to plan on what's ahead of him. The ocean water brings its food. Whatever the ocean provides is what the oyster receives. No more, no less. The first egg continued, "That's the life for me. It may be limited, but there are no decisions to make and no responsibilities to accomplish. There's a secure existence controlled only by the ocean." The second egg has this to say, "That's not the life for me. I wish to be an eagle, for it is free to go where it wants to go and do what it pleases. Of course, it's responsible for hunting its own food and making survival decisions, but it is also free to fly as high as the highest mountains." The eagle, continued the second egg, is in control instead of being controlled by others. I want no limits placed upon me, nor do I want to be a slave of the ocean. I am willing to expend the efforts required to live the life of an eagle. I will create my own destiny. What role would you like to portray in real life? The same as that of an oyster or that of an eagle? The choice is yours. Braveheart once said, and I quote, "Life without freedom is no life at all. Life without freedom is no life at all." Our national hero Dr. Jose Rizal once said, "It is a useless life that is not consecrated to a great ideal. It is like a stone wasted on the field without becoming a part of any edifice." The Lion and Mouse Story. Once upon a time, a lion lay asleep in the forest. A lion lay asleep in his den in the forest, his great head resting on his paws. A timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly, and in her fright and haste to get away, ran across the lion's nose. Roused from his nap, the lion angrily laid his paws on the tiny creature to kill her. "Spare me, please, spare me," said the little mouse. "Please let me go, and someday I will surely repay you. Spare me." The lion was much amused to think that a little mouse could ever help him. But he was generous and compassionate, and finally let the mouse go. "Okay, you're free," said the lion. Some days later, while stalking his prey to the forest, the lion was caught suddenly in the toils of a hunter's net. Unable to free himself, he filled the entire forest with his angry roaring. The mouse knew the voice and quickly found the lion struggling in the net. Running to one of the great ropes that bound him, she gnawed it and gnawed it until it parted, and soon the lion was free. The lion was grateful and thanked the little mouse. "Thank you for setting me free." But the mouse said, "You laughed when I said I will repay you. Now you see that even a mouse can help a lion." The lion realized that even the smallest of creatures can make a difference. This story reminds us that compassion and kindness can create unexpected bonds. From that day forward, the lion and the little mouse became the best of friends. This also teaches us to be considerate and helpful of others, because we never know when we might need help from the most unexpected sources. The end. Next story. the tribal leader. Once upon a time, a tribal elder died, and he left behind him a small child who was too young to lead the tribe. The members of the clan were competing for the leadership role, but they could not agree on whom to elect. So they went to a judge to decide between them. The judge wanted to test their intelligence, so he gave each of them a cup of coffee, telling them, "Empty this cup, but don't spill any of it, and don't drink any of it." The men all looked at each other in confusion and didn't know how to do it. So the judge asked for the little boy to be brought, the son of the tribal elder who had died, and he tasked him with the same. The little boy outsmarted all the elders. He took his scarf, immersed it in the cup until it absorbed all the coffee. Then he looked up at the judge and said, "Your cup is empty, and your coffee is on my head." The judge realized how clever he was and declared him the new elder, saying to the men, "Rise up, O men, and take your new elder with you." The moral of the story is, being brought up in a wise household makes you wise. And being the leader or elder has nothing to do with age, the size of your turban or beard. A person young of age can be a better leader than an elder. We should give young people a chance. The end. Next story. Story of the crackpot. Once upon a time, there was an old woman who carried water every day from the river to her house. She used two large pots, each hanging on the ends of a long stick that she carried across her shoulders like this. The first pot was perfect and always carried a full load of water, while the second pot had a crack in it, and by the time the old woman reached her house, half of the water had leaked out. This went on every day. The perfect pot was proud of his work, while the cracked pot felt ashamed and thought it was a failure because it couldn't carry a full load of water. One day, the cracked pot spoke to the old woman. "I'm sorry, I feel bad that I'm not doing my job properly because of this crack. I only deliver half of the water you fill me with." But the old woman smiled and said, "Can't you see the beautiful flowers on the side of the path where I carry you? I planted flower seeds there because I knew about your craft. Each day you water them as we walk. Now I have these beautiful flowers to decorate my house. Without your craft, this wouldn't be possible." The moral of the story is each of us, each of us have our own flaws. But sometimes those imperfections create unexpected beauty. So never underestimate yourself. Even though you think you're not perfect, what a valuable lesson. The end. Next story. The Wise Samurai and the Fierce Tiger. Once upon a time, a wise samurai named Akio. Once upon a time, in a dense forest of ancient Japan, a wise samurai named Akio was on a mission to deliver an important message to a nearby village. As he made his way through the forest, he suddenly heard a loud roar. Looking around, he saw a fierce tiger approaching him, growling and ready to attack. The samurai knew that he was no match for a powerful predator, but he also knew that he couldn't turn back. So he remained calm and silent, observing the tiger's movements carefully. The tiger circled around him, snarling and baring its teeth. Akio could feel his hot breath on his skin. Akio knew that any sudden movement could provoke the tiger to attack. So he stood still, maintaining a composed and collected demeanor. The tiger continued to circle around him, but Akio remained unfazed. Suddenly, the tiger charged towards Akio, its jaws wide open, ready to pounce. Akio remained calm and silent, and at the last moment, he stepped aside and dodged the tiger's attack. The tiger roared in frustration, and charged again. But Akio remained calm and silent, dodging the tiger's attack once more. This continued for several minutes until the tiger became exhausted and stopped attacking. Akio had outlasted the powerful predator with his calmness and silence. He had not fought the tiger, but he had used his mind to overcome the threat. As Akio continued on his journey, he pondered on the lesson he had learned from his encounter with the tiger. He realized that sometimes remaining calm and silent in the face of adversity could be more effective than fighting with weapons. Years later, Akio became a renowned samurai, known for his bravery and ability to remain calm and collected in the midst of battle. His experience with the tiger had taught him the value of patience, observance, and a calm mind. Akio's legacy lived on, and his teachings about the virtues of calmness and silence became a popular philosophy among the samurai warriors of ancient Japan. The end. Next story. Sam and the Wiseman. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived a young boy named Sam. Sam was known for his disrespectful behavior towards elders and others. He never listened to their opinions and would always do what he wanted, regardless of how it would affect others. One day, a wise old man visited the village and asked to meet Sam. The villagers were surprised as the old man was known for his wisdom, and many believed that he could change Sam's behavior. When the old man met Sam, he asked him why he was so disrespectful towards others. Sam replied arrogantly, "I don't care what anyone thinks. I can do whatever I want." The old wise man smiled and said, "I understand how you feel, Sam, but let me tell you a story." The old man then narrated a story about a wealthy merchant who always showed respect towards others, regardless of their social status. The wealthy merchant was well known throughout the land, and he was loved by everyone. One day, the wealthy merchant encountered a poor beggar on the street. The beggar was in a pitiable state, and so the wealthy merchant decided to help him. The wealthy merchant gave the beggar some food and money, and also gave him a job in his shop. The beggar was grateful for the merchant's kindness, and he worked hard. Over time, the beggar became successful and eventually became a wealthy merchant himself. Sam was amazed by the story and asked the old man what it meant. The old man replied, "Sam, respect is a virtue that is always rewarded. When you treat others with respect, you gain their trust and earn their respect in return. And when you help others, the universe rewards you in ways you cannot imagine. From that day forward, Sam started to change his behavior. He began to treat others with respect, listen to their opinions, and help those in need. The villagers noticed his change, and they began to respect him. Sam realized that the story of the old man was true, that respect truly is rewarded. The end. Next story, The Fox and the Donkey. One day, the lion became hungry and said to the fox, "Bring me something to eat, or I will eat you." So the fox went to the donkey and said, "The lion wants to make you king. Come with me." When the lion saw the donkey, it attacked him. Cutting off its ears. But the donkey managed to escape. The donkey said to the fox, "You tricked me. The lion tried to kill me." The fox said to the donkey, "Don't be silly. He only removed your ears to place the crown on your head. Let's go back." It made sense to the donkey, so it went back. The lion attacked the donkey again, this time cutting off its tail. The donkey escaped again, saying to the fox, "You were lying. The lion cut off my tail." The fox said to the donkey, "He only removed your tail so you can sit comfortably on the throne. Come back with me." The fox convinced the donkey to return again. This time, the lion caught the donkey and killed it. The lion said to the fox, "Well done for bringing back the donkey. Now go, skin it for me, and bring to me its brains, its lung, liver, and heart." So the fox skinned the donkey and ate its brains. Nom, 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 nom. Wow, delicious! Wow! But brought back its lung, liver, and heart to the lion. "My dear king, here's the liver, heart, and lung of the donkey." But the lion became angry. "Where is its brain?" The fox replied, "My king, it had no brains. If it had any brains, it would not have returned to you after you cut its ears and tail." The lion said, "Oh, that's very true. Well done." The moral of the story is, The believers should be smart and pick up red flags early on. They should not be gullible. Otherwise, people will take advantage of them. The prophet once said, the believer should not be stung from the same hole twice. The believer should not be stung from the same hole twice. The end. Next story is the story of the prophet and the blind Jewish beggar. In the corner of the marketplace of Medina was a blind Jewish beggar who cried out daily, "Oh dear brothers, don't you go near Muhammad. He's a lunatic, he's a sorcerer, a liar. If you are to be close to him, you will be influenced by him." The news about the blind beggar's daily cursing and bad-mouthing came to the knowledge of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But even then, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't get angry. He just carried on ignoring the blind beggar's insults against himself. The next day, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started visiting the blind Jewish beggar and would feed him with his own hands. The beggar would chew the food being fed to him and eat contentedly. Once he became full, he'd express his gratitude without knowing that the one who had fed him was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued to feed the blind Jewish beggar each day without saying a single word until the day he, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, passed on to the next life. Throughout his service to the blind beggar, he never identified himself to the blind Jewish beggar. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, no one brought food to the blind Jewish beggar anymore. One of the closest companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, visited the home of his daughter, Sayyidina Aisha radiyallahu anhu. Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu asked Aisha radiyallahu anhu, "Oh dear daughter, is there any habit that my beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I have yet to carry on?" Aisha radiyallahu anhu replied, "Oh dear father, you are verily a follower of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there is none that you have yet to do except for one deed only." "What is that?" asked Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. "Every morning, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would go to the end of the marketplace bringing food to a blind old Jewish beggar who lives there and feed him by his hand," said Aisha radiyallahu anhu. The next day, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu went to the marketplace with food for the blind beggar. Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu approached the blind beggar and started to feed him. At the first mouthful of food being fed to him, the beggar became angry and shouted out, "Who are you? Who are you?" Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu replied, "I'm the one who usually comes and feeds you." "No, don't you lie to me." Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was shocked. Thus he asked, "Why do you say so?" The blind Jewish beggar replied, "Because when he comes to me, I always feel it's easy to hold his hand and find it easy to chew the food he feeds me. The one who used to come and feed me would make the food fine first before feeding it to me." Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu could not hold back his tears anymore and burst out crying. He had to disclose who he actually was to the blind beggar. "Verily, I'm not the one who used to come and feed you. I am one of his companions, for the noble one is alive no more. He was none other than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." "Muhammad?" asked the blind old Jewish beggar, totally shocked with what he had just heard. "Do you mean to tell me that the one who used to come each morning without fail and fed me by his hand was no other than Muhammad?" "Yes, it was Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam," said Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Immediately, the blind old Jewish beggar wailed out in despair and cried so pitifully, coming to realize that it was none other than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who had been feeding him all the while. All this time, I had been cursing him. I had been slandering him. Not once did he ever scold me. He was so noble," cried the blind old Jewish beggar, wiping away his flowing tears. The blind old Jewish beggar approached Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the first caliph of the Muslims, and testified before him the kalima shahada, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah," declaring that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad Rasulullah is the messenger of Allah. The end. Next story. Once upon a time, a group of frogs lived all their lives in a deep, dark, old well. These frogs tried to jump higher and higher each day to see what is above this vertical tunnel. Unfortunately, not one frog was able to jump as high as the old well's surface. One day, A tiny frog started clinging on the walls, wanting to take a peek on the world above. This tiny frog jumped and jumped as the others had done, but it could not even reach halfway of the well. The older frog arrogantly mused, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? All our lives we have been striving to reach that peak, but all of us failed. We are old now, and we have lost hope to see what's up there. If we were not able to make it, how much more for a tiny frog like you? You're so thin, and you look so pale. You'd better quit now before you hurt yourself. You're just wasting your time." The skinny frog would not hear any of those discouraging words. It just continued to jump, day after day, month after month, year after year, until one day, the tiny frog made the highest jump of his life and did it. He reached the surface of the deep, dark, old well. "Wow! It's very beautiful here. The sun shines, the flowers bloom, the water is crystal clear. It's like paradise here." While the little frog enjoyed the beauty of nature, the frogs left inside the old well shouted and begged the tiny frog to help them out of the well. But the tiny frog just hopped and hopped farther, as it enjoys the beauty and abundance it witnesses on the surface of the well. Did arrogance or vengeance fed on the tiny frog's mind, or has it not heard the pleading of his fellow amphibians? The truth is, the little frog is neither arrogant nor vindictive. Even from the beginning, he never listens to arrogance. He never listens to comments. He never listens to criticism, because the tiny frog is actually deaf since birth. My dear friend, don't let anyone take your dreams away from you. No one should stop you from fulfilling your aspirations. It is yours to fulfill. You must possess the same attitude manifested by the tiny frog. Be deaf on all disheartening criticisms. Remember that the greatest pleasure in life is to do the things that other people say you cannot do. The end. Next story, the Fountain of Wealth. Once upon a time, a young man seeking for abundance went to the forest and asked his spiritual master, "Master, I want to have unlimited wealth to help heal the world. Will you please tell me the secret behind an abundant wealth? The spiritual master replied, there are two goddesses who reside in the heart of a human being. Everybody is deeply in love with these two supreme beings, including you, I suppose. Although you love both goddesses, you must pay more attention to one of them. One of the goddesses is wisdom. Pursue her, love her, give her all your attention. The other's name is wealth. When you pay more attention to wisdom, wealth will become extremely jealous and seek your attention. The more you tend for the goddess of wisdom, the more the goddess of wealth will seek out your attention. She will follow you wherever you go and never leave you. And the wealth you desire will be yours forever. Principles represent a deeper well. This deeper well of principles supplies all shallower wells and root structures of empowerment, producing for less. Empowerment producing for less. Scalability and agility. Principles, someone said, and I quote, principles represent the deeper well. This deeper well of principles supplies all the shallower wells and root structures of empowerment, quality, producing more for less, sustainability, scalability, and agility. Let me tell you another bedtime story. Story of, let's see, the mousetrap. Okay. The story of the mousetrap. Once upon a time, a mouse, looking through a hole in the wall, sees the farmer and his wife open a package. The mouse was frightened to see that it was a mousetrap. He was terrified. The mouse immediately ran to the patio to warn everyone. There's a mousetrap at home. There's a mousetrap at home. The chicken that was cackling and digging says, "Excuse me, Mr. Mouse. I understand that it is a big problem for you. But it does not hurt me at all." The rodent went to the lamb, and it says the same thing. Meh, meh. "Excuse me, Mr. Mouse, but I don't think I can do more than ask for you in my prayers." Then the mouse went to the cow, and she said, "Moo, but am I in danger? I think not." So the mouse returned home, worried and dejected, to face the farmer's mousetrap. That night, a loud noise was heard, like that of a mousetrap catching its victim. The woman urgently ran to see what she had caught. In the dark, she did not see that the mousetrap caught the tail of a poisonous snake. The speedy snake bit the woman. So the farmer immediately took her to the hospital, but she came back with a high fever. The farmer, to comfort his wife, prepared a nutritious soup, grabbed the knife, and went to find the main ingredient, the chicken. But the woman did not get better. So, friends and neighbors, relatives came to visit them. Then, the farmer killed the lamb to feed them. But still, the woman didn't get better, and she died. In the end, the farmer sold the cow to the slaughterhouse to cover the funeral expenses. When someone comes to you and asks him for your help, and you feel that you're not affected, when someone tells you of their problems and you feel that you're not affected because it's not yours, it's not your problem, and you don't pay attention to it, think twice. Think twice. He who does not live to serve. He who does not live to serve doesn't serve to live. He who does not live to serve doesn't serve to live. The world is not going badly because of the wickedness of the bad, but because of the apathy of the good. So the next time someone comes to you for help, lend them a hand, or at least give them a word of advice. May you never lack empathy. Remember it well. Empathy. The end. Let's talk about fake news. Let me talk about a growing menace in our society, fake news. In this digital age, information spreads faster than ever, but so does misinformation. Fake news is false or misleading information presented as legitimate news, often designed to manipulate opinions, create chaos, or serve hidden agendas. The danger of fake news. Fake news is not just harmless gossip. It has real-world consequences. It can, number one, spread fear and panic. For example, false health alarms during a pandemic. Two, damage reputations by targeting individuals, businesses, or even governments. Number three, influence elections and democracy by swaying public opinions with lies. Number four, incite violence when fake news fuel hatred between communities. But why does fake news spread so fast? Number one, because of social media algorithms. Platforms prioritize sensational content on social media without fact checking. Platforms Platforms prioritize sensational content on social media, making fake news go viral. Number two, confirmation bias. People share stories that align with their beliefs without fact checking. Number three, lack of media literacy. Many many people don't know how to verify news before sharing. So how do we fight fake news? Number one, verify before sharing. Check multiple reliable sources before believing and spreading news. Number two, educate ourselves. Learn to identify credible journalism versus clickbait. Number three, report fake news. Use, use fact-checking tools and flag false content on social media. Number four, support responsible media. Trust and share news only from verified, ethical sources. Fake news is a threat to truth, trust, and democracy, but we have the power to stop it. Let us all commit to being responsible digital citizens, questioning boldly, thinking critically, and sharing wisely. Remember, in a world full of noise, the truth is worth defending. The end. Next. Are you living just to survive? Once there was a group of foxes discussing among themselves what their lunch would be for the day. Suddenly, they spotted a rabbit in the greener side of the valley. One fox proudly said, "That rabbit's mine for lunch. Want to bet?" A second fox dared him, "Then bring that rabbit in the dining table." Wasting no time, the first fox chased the rabbit and ran as fast as it can to elude its predator. The first fox tried its best to get near its target, but could not get even with the rabbit's pace. Several hours passed, and the fox still runs after its prey, until it got exhausted and eventually quit the chase. The rabbit, certain that nobody's running after him anymore, went into the direction of the forest and disappeared. What do you think was the reason why the fox did not capture his target? Obviously, the fox and the rabbit have a conflict of interest. Both run after something for a different perspective. The fox was running only after its lunch, while the rabbit runs for its life. How about you, my friend? Are you thriving only for your lunch or for your life? According to the latest economic survey, 30 to 40% of typical Filipino families are classified below the poverty line. These families do not just see, smell, taste, hear, and touch poverty. They actually breathe it every day. So how can we, as a nation, establish a strong republic if the citizenry's economic welfare is impaired? How can we survive this reality? Poverty is indeed one of the foremost problems we have to address and find resolve to. I believe that individual poverty can trace its roots from a person's internal core values itself. To uplift the economic condition of our country, we must be able to accept new ideas on how we view the world in its entirety. Each of us should empower one another and thrive, not only to live, but to live a better life. Through entrepreneurial mindset, esteem, empowerment, and self-discipline, we can elevate the quality of our living and settle for a strong republic. And that change should start from each one of us. Albert Einstein once said, and I quote, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." The end. Next. Life is what we make it. High in the Himalayas lived an old wise man. Occasionally, he treks down into the local village to entertain the people with his special abilities, one of which is to tell what is in a container or what does a person think. A group of boys planned to play a joke on the old man and ridicule him. One of the boys captured a bird and enclosed it in his grip. The boy knew that the wise man would know what would be in his hand, so he would ask if the bird is alive or dead. If the wise man will say that the bird is dead, the boy would open his hands and let the bird free. If the wise man will say that the bird is alive, the boy would crush the bird in his hands. No matter what the old man will say, the boy could prove that he is a fraud. The following week, the old man came down from the mountain and onto the village. One of the boys caught a bird and walked straight to the old man and asked, old man, can you tell what's in my hands?" The wise old man said, "You have a bird." The boy asked again, old man, tell me, is the bird alive or dead?" The old wise man looked straight in the boy's eyes and said calmly, "My child, the life of that bird which you now hold is already in your hands as you choose it. And so it is also with your life. My dear friend, fulfillment or non-fulfillment of your dreams and aspirations in life is already in your hands. The choice is yours. William Jennings Bryan once said, and I quote, "Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved." Goethe, a philosopher, once said, and I quote, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. There is one elementary truth. The knowledge of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too, and all the sorts of things occur to help one, which otherwise would not have occurred. Whatever you think you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. There is one elementary truth, the knowledge of which the ignorance. There is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too, and all the sorts of things occur to help one, which otherwise would not have occurred. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. Tribal leader, fake news, jackpot, freedom of color. Okay. Break time. See you again, guys.